I'm here.
Okay. Okay. Hi.
Will you please give me permission for sharing?
Yeah, I have already given.
Thank you. Thank you.
So can you please first introduce yourself, like which institution are you and what exactly do you do?
Definitely,
and,
sir. Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. It is my proud pleasure to be a part of this international conference. I thank the organizers for giving me a chance, maybe fortunate enough to join. Myself, M. Srinivasan. I am a training associate at Zonal Institute of Education and Training, Mumbai. ZED Mumbai is a training wing of Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan under Ministry of Education, Government of India. Here we are planning workshops for teachers, those who are teaching in Kendriya Vidyalayas, and we extend our training to the teachers of other organizations also, like Atomic Energy School and other government schools also. I joined in teaching in the year 1991 and joined Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan in the year 1993, and fortunate enough to join ZED Mumbai in the year 2012. Then after joining, I had an opportunity to move with Mr. Professor Rana, and I have attended his time conferences continuously. And whatever the information we received from that, we simply expanded it, and we are actually fortunate enough to have it. Okay, well, now I have been asked to just to throw some light on how underachievers can be helped by mathematics teachers. I wish to share my screen to give this idea. I hope that the screen is visible.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Okay. You see, normally whenever after the teaching is over, we will ask question to the children. Now maybe that is a kind of assessment will be done normally. Then we will get either a correct answer or a wrong answer. Whatever maybe, it may be a MCQ or it may be a very lengthy answer, whatever may be. But for the wrong answer, we will get reasons. We will try to find the reason. As a teacher, we have to find the reasons. There are two reasons. Actually, so many reasons are there, but all of them can be put in set number 1 and set number 2. Set number 1 is mistake. Set number 2 is error. I think all of you may be shocked to know that why I am using two different words, mistake and error. Remember, friends, both of them are not equal, because as per the study tells, mistakes is there is a computational mistake due to carelessness, but errors are misleading ideas or misapplies concept of algorithm. Therefore, a error is a frequently observed phenomena. But as a teacher, we have to be very careful. We have to find these errors also. We have to do error analysis also. If you do the error analysis, then these underachievers, definitely you can help them out. Why they are having that? Why they are committing the error again and again? Remember, these are all the types which errors can happen. The first one is very, very important, conceptual error. Actually, this has been categorized as misconceptions. Normally, we are going on talking about misconception by a child. Now, we are in a position now to come out, to make the child come out of this misconception. But remember, we have to be very thankful. The present generation of teachers, you are blessed actually. You are having a lot of tools in your hand to come out, to make the children come out of this conceptual error. Now, not only that, the child is doing error and doing mistakes, but due to that, he is getting mathematics phobia. And remember, there is a famous saying which tells that children are not born afraid of maths, they learn to fear it. Okay. Now, there are so many reasons out of it. I think I'm not here to explain or how to discuss about it. But remember, the wording is very clear. They learn to fear it. Okay. Now, you see, this is actually a kind of pyramid I am showing you. In this pyramid, you see, now we are, all of us are, attempting this workshop, and we are here to just to learn something. But do you know, after 2 weeks, what will happen? Only 10% of what you read, and 20% of what you hear, and 30% of what you see, you will remember. Then 50% of what you hear and see, you are adding 30 plus 20. But 70% of what you say, and 70% of what you say and do. That is why in most of the workshops, we used to have hands-on experiences. We used to have hands-on experiences in most of the workshops. In most of the workshops, we used to have hands-on experiences because so that 90% of what you say and do can be done. But how to make it this 90% that is actually coming under active learning, how to do it? Then we can go for some kind of way that we can prevent it. Prevailing, how to prevent that misconception and all is using contemporary and innovative teaching approaches. How to get this innovative teaching approaches? So many ways, but out of them, the GeoGebra is the best one. Use of modern facility, learning while doing, link your teaching with GeoGebra and playway method. So we have come to a conclusion that a child is having a misconception. Due to that misconception, he is doing a lot of errors. Due to the errors, he just getting an idea that he is very weak in. He learned to fear about mathematics. Therefore, to get away from it, we have to use GeoGebra. Now, in my presentation, I am going to give you some kind of very interesting applets where from starting from maybe from the primary level till class 12th standard and even college level also, I am restricting myself up to the 12th standard level where a child can be asked to maybe allowed to learn the things in a playway method. For example, you see, I am showing you an applet where you are asking a child to add the numbers. Normally what we will do, we will just put the numbers on the board, we will try to add them. We will ask them that keep something in your mind, keep something in your finger and then add. You see, this is a GeoGebra applet which tells you that suppose 6 minus 10 is minus 4. How it came? This bunny has to be moved so that it tells you that how it goes up to that 6 and then up to that minus 10. Therefore, the answer is minus 4. Where the bunny is moving. Now, I think the child can have another example also. Again, you can move the bunny and then find out that how actually the addition has been done. Okay, well. Now, similarly, I think you can have this number pyramid also. This is a kind of way the child will add and then by playway method, he will try to learn. These are the things which a phobia will come out. You see, here, show the middle left 4, 5, 3. He has to add 4, 5 and put here. 5 plus 3 has to put here. You see, show the middle and show the middle right and show the top. The child will be doing it in a pyramid way. And in GeoGebra applet, you can have pyramids of 3, 2, 1 or 4, 3, 2, 1 or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 like that. You see here the child will be understanding that addition, how addition is done, making use of in a playway method. Okay, now I think I already did the integer idea already told. Now instead of having a playway method also, you can show the children that how addition of integers are done on a number line. For example, the first integer I am entering at 10. Second integer I am entering it as minus 4. I am entering, you see it comes like that. Okay. Now you can go to the new problem and see how it has come. It has gone up to the 10 and again it has come back 4. Therefore the answer is 6. You can show the answer. Okay. This way you can go to the new problem also. You see the only one sheet is there which can make n number of problems. Okay. Now after the addition is over, normally the child will be having the idea of visualizing a 2-digit number. I think that number place is where the digit place is very, very important. The 10th place, 100th place and so on. Now you see a child can visualize a 2-digit number in a diagrammatic manner. Normally we will tell them it is the 10th place, this is the 100th place like that. You see, if a child is coming and entering 85, it tells that there are 10 gates which are all dots of red and there is only 5 1 which are being explained in the form of a green color. Now another child can come and he can write 72 and again it will tell that it is 7 10s are there and 1s are there. Now this particular worksheet can be used for any numbers between any 2-digit number between 10 and 99, but the same type of worksheet can be done for a 3-digit number, 4-digit number and so on, so that a child will have a clear idea. All his misconception will go automatically. Well, now apart from this 2-digit number, normally a problem comes when you enter into fractions. Fraction means you are going to reduce the value of a number, but that interest in mathematics also will get fractioned. Therefore, we should be a little bit careful. Therefore, whenever they are visualizing the fraction, the first way of explaining the fraction will be in the form of this one only. Suppose the fraction is 2 by 12. Now I am increasing 3 by 12, 4 by 12, 5 by 12, 6 by 12. Now they can fix the denominator. This particular worksheet I have kept only maximum 12. Now you can have maximum 25, 35 and so on. And a child will come and move this numerator and he can explain and he can visualize that what is that fraction can be explained. Remember friends, the same worksheet can be visualized for addition of 2 fractions also by expressing the first fraction as a separate figure, second fraction as a separate figure, and it can be added up also. Now these are all a kind of extension you can have. Now Another one, suppose if you have visualized the fraction, the main important part the child will be having in the achievers will have a problem in comparing. Then comparing fraction also, you see two types of worksheets you can keep. One worksheet is by entering the number. Another worksheet is a new problem can be created. Okay. Now you see, compare the fraction 2 by 26, 15 by 44. Now it is totally telling the fractions, how the fractions are made. The denominators are made equal and the numerators are compared, so that they are telling that how. Now here you see, LCM idea is coming. See, when you keep the new problem will come. Again, new problem. You see, here I am going on getting some fraction where in some first is greater, in the something the second is greater and so on. Okay, like that you see, whenever you are keeping it in the classroom and whenever using it after your comparing fraction idea is being made, a child can do it in a very nice manner. The GeoGebra advantage is it is a user friendly, not only for the teacher and for the students also. Okay, now after these fractions are being made, now the children will be highly interested to go for prime factorization. Okay, now you see prime factorization, normally we will be doing it in the class that divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 2, divide by 2 and so on. Now suppose if you can show it visually, suppose you see I am taking a number, for example 686. I want to show the children that by moving it, you see 2 again divided by 7, divided by 7, divided by 7, 1. Therefore it is 2 into 7 into 7 into 1. Now the child may change the number, again he can come back and then see what are the prime factors for this particular number. Now here in the slider can be changed also. Here I have done only up to 9,000, from 2 to 1,000. You can have it for any number. Okay, this is the way a child will come and visualize it. How by dividing it by 2, what happens? The next step, again dividing by 2, again dividing by 5, and then again dividing by 5. Therefore, all are prime factors. Here you see, whenever you are using this particular worksheet in the class, this GeoGebra is giving you a lot of option for you, a lot of scope for you to ask them each and every place you can have a question to them, so that the understanding of the concept will improve a lot. Okay, now you see I am going for one more game, guess the number game. What is the meaning of guess the number game? You see, now normally we will always tell the children that you just keep a number in your mind, multiply it by 2, divide by 5 and so on.
Srinivasan, hello.
Yes, sir.
There is a request that please go a bit slow.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Now you see, this is a worksheet where guess the number between 1 to 100. Now you see a child is going to enter the number here. Now your number has been guessed by GeoGebra itself. It is not going to tell you that whether the number is, you enter the number is greater or smaller. You see, some of you may be thinking that, sir, how mathematics is coming here. You see, suppose I am typing 25. It is telling that the number is a very big number. What is the meaning of it? The number is now between 1 and 25. Now a child has to take a number lying between 1 and 25. For example, I am typing 12. It is telling that once again it is bigger. Okay. Now I have to enter a number between 1 and 12. Okay. Anyway, I am doing it at random. Okay. I am just typing 6. Oh, now I got the correct number. You see, now here a child is actually asked to do. Okay. Here you see, I have given a may I help you also. Suppose if the bigger is coming or smaller is coming, you have to ask the children to find the median. The median, sometime it may be 2 numbers or maybe a single number. If they enter it, they are narrowing the search. It's a highly interesting one. Here, so many ideas are involved. They will try to understand which is a bigger number, which is a smaller number. And not only that, they will try to understand what is the range from 1 to 25, what will be the middle number and so on. It's a highly interesting game. Well, now, you see, sometime whenever we are teaching in the class, square root of a number, the children will be always having a confusion with the surd form. For that, I have made one worksheet where in the worksheet, a number will be generated and your children will be asked to find the surd form and the numerical value. You see, surd form and the numerical value. I think for root 41, it is expression root 41 only. I will go for a new problem now. 81, it will be 9 only. Now you can ask the children that how to write 46. 46. Suppose I will go for a problem with the surd form. Let me check out whether I am getting. Sometime I think you have to search it. You got it. Okay, now this is actually, you know that it is 49 into 2, therefore 7 root 2. Therefore, this is actually a kind of game where from, I have given only from 1 to 100 because for a small child, now they will understand that some questions in square root can be written in solid form. It is highly useful when they come to the higher class of representation of a number. But for example, whenever they are doing that ellipse, parabola and all, normally their focus and all, if it is a irrational number, if it is written in a solid form. Therefore, this is a very interesting worksheet where a child will understand that what is a solid form and what is a numerical value. It is a kind of game a child can play. Then you see, I think in the morning also Professor Rana was discussing about square. Then he was telling that how a square from a rectangle, how you got a square, from a parallelogram, how you got a rectangle like that. Okay, now all these types of parallelograms, I'm talking about only parallelograms. I think you can have quadrilaterals also. Here, this is a worksheet where a child will be asked to enter the length. For example, I am entering 4 and then 6 and 70. You see, it will come as a parallelogram because length is 4, breadth is 4. Suppose if I convert it into 4 once again, now it will become a rhombus because two sides are equal, but the angle is not 70. Suppose if I take this angle as 90, now all the things which is there, actually you can see on the right side, the condition for a square, it will be displayed on the right side. Remember, a child can come and play. Suppose you will just change it into 6. If I change it into 6, what happens? It will become a rectangle. And remember, here all the properties, opposite sides are equal, each interior angle is 90, diagonal bisect each other, diagonals are equal length, all are displayed. This GeoGebra worksheet is having one condition display. Suppose any statement can be displayed or can be hidden using a condition. I have used it. Okay, you see, by making use of this particular worksheet, you can understand the difference between a parallelogram, a rhombus, a rectangle, and a square. So many questions you can ask. I think normally, I think in the class, we used to form a mind map, or you can call it as a kind of mind map, where it starts with quadrilateral, how it goes to parallelogram, from parallelogram, how it takes so many avatars. So like that, I think that idea can be easily visualized in this particular worksheet. Well, now, normally whenever the cone, cylinder, everything can be very quickly. I'm moving on to solid figures. That is, whenever we are talking in the class, we will go and rotate it in a particular cylinder or a cone. We will touch the sides and then tell in the class that this is the CSA of a cone. So when you just add that bottom, it will become the total surface area. Okay, now this can be visualized. The child can come and visualize it in a GeoGebra. As I told you earlier, I think in the morning also so much discussion was going on. Whenever an animated way of explanation is given to the child, then it will be highly nice. You see, when I click this animation, you are seeing that the particular curved surface area of the cone, it is being shown in color. And not only that, this worksheet is telling me what is the radius, what is the slant height, what is the curved surface area formula, that is pi RL, and the value also. Now here a child can change it also. For example, he is changing it into 4 and here he is changing it into 5. Then also he will get the figure, he will get the animation, everything. You see, reset animation, animation is not starting. I am clicking animation, animation starts. Here actually the GeoGebra is giving you an idea of GeoGebra script where you can start the animation or you can stop an animation. Okay, that is you should have a control over it. That is a way of having. Okay, you see the CSA of cylinder can be explained, CSA of a cone can be explained, then the CSA of a cube and cuboid can be explained like this way. Well, I will move on to the next one. Normally in the class, we will be teaching the solution of system of equation in a graphical method. In the graphical method, we will tell them that when the lines are parallel, no solution. When they touch at a single point, unique solution. When they are overlapping, we will get infinite solution. Now this can be...
Srinivasan.
Yes, sir.
Can you 5 minutes to wind up your presentation?
Definitely, sir. Definitely, sir.
Okay.
Only 5 minutes. 5 minutes required. Only 2 or 3 more are left out. Okay. Now you see. Now a child can enter the equation here. For example, 2. For example, 3. For example, 4. For example, 1. For for example, once again I will have 2 here. Okay, I will have 2 and I will have 3. Something like that. Okay. Now you see that it is telling you very clearly that A1 by A2 not equal to B1 by 2. Therefore, the system is okay. Now, let us go for no solution part 4. I will change it into 6. Okay. Now, you see, you know that A1 by A2 is equal to B1 by A2, not equal to C1 by C2. Okay. Single worksheet, but a child can come and visualize the condition also, and he can visualize the graph also. Okay. Now, conic section can be visualized very easily, nicely. Normally in the class, we will be doing it on the board only. We will tell them that one plane is cutting. Okay, I'm showing the circle. This circle can be shown with the animation. It is going up and down. And I can show the parabola, how the parabola is made. I can show the ellipse, how the ellipse is made by rotating it. I can show them. Hyperbola, I can show how hyperbola has been. I can reset it. Okay, well. Now you can explore ellipse. With that I will close. We can explore ellipse. What is the meaning of exploring ellipse? You know that there are two types of ellipses are there. One is having on the x-axis and another on the y-axis. Suppose if I type 36 here, then if I type 25 here, it will tell you the total biodata or maybe Kundali of this particular ellipse, which is the type 1 and everything. Suppose if I change it automatically, same worksheet, I'm changing it into 25. I'm changing this into 36. Automatically, you will get the second one. For highly interesting, the child can get all the ideas, vertices, foci, eccentricity, major axis, minor axis, everything he will get. Okay. I think the last one, maybe this may be the last one. Okay, now you see, inconsistency of system of equation, normally we will talk only in 2 dimension. The lines are parallel, therefore, the system will not have solution. Now, is it possible for you to show the children the inconsistency of a three variable problem? Actually, in the syllabus of 12th standard, it is there only to show it with the matrix method. That is, determinant A is equal to 0, then they will find adjoint A into B, then they will find out whether it is inconsistent or not. You see, here I have drawn all the 3 equations. They are all planes, and first 2 planes are meeting at a line, second 2 planes are meeting at another line, 1 and 3 are meeting at another line, maybe taking at 2 at a time. Now here the lines are parallel. You see, totally they are parallel. Maybe you can call it as the line of intersection, because 2 planes will intersect at a line only. Now, highly interesting, a child, even this question was asked to me by a child. Sir, in 2 dimension, you are telling that the lines are parallel. Is it the same thing in 3 dimension also? The same type of question Professor Rana asked today. Parallelogram law in 2 dimension, is it possible in 3 dimension? But also we started thinking that whether it will be there or not. So many questions came in our mind. Therefore, you see, this is the way a child can be given a lot of information through this GeoGebra files, starting from lower class to the upper class. What we can do is, after a particular chapter is over, we can tell them that this is the way you can go and explain it. Then the child will come out with a lot of questions to you. Now, just for information, in Zonal Institute of Education Training, Mumbai has had a kind of course in Google Classroom. Let us learn to lead. In that already 820. I think, I don't know the number as on today. There are 824 teachers have already joined all over India. Here, the thing is that in the classwork, you are having a lot of introduction from the introduction till the end. I think there are only 33 chapters are already added. We are going on added. Each chapter will have, you can have a video and followed by the particular GeoGebra file will be there. It is totally free. It is being done by Ministry of Education. For those who are interested, you can go for it. And one more YouTube channel we have opened where we are uploading all the videos which we are doing. Till today, 130 videos have been added up. You can go for these videos where it will be step by step. It will explain you how to construct a triangle 3-side, properties of equilateral triangle, and everything will be explained starting from introduction, how to download GeoGebra, how to load it in your computer, and what are the tools available in GeoGebra, and so on. This particular job which we are doing, it is periodically, it is being updated. Being the month of March, all the teachers are very busy in correction work and all examination work. Therefore, we have stopped for a while. From April, we will start it once again. Okay, thank you very much, friends, for your patience hearing. Any question?